Hi viewers, welcome to Mantan TV. We are with K HANMANDLOO garu. Today's topic is PSU. Sir will explain about it. Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, what is PSU, sir?
That is public sector undertaking. Maybe it's a bank or a company in which the government is having shareholding. That is called public sector undertaking. Earlier, the government used to have 100% shareholding in that companies. Means before 91. Up to that, we have seen many companies in BHEL, BDL, Mithani, LIC, State Bank. Now all these were held by companies, by government, 100% holding by companies, BSNL, MTNL, all these were. But in 91, when the PV National government came into power, they decided that the government should not do the business. They have to monitor only, they should not do the business. The reason was, every year, all these companies were showing losses and many of them were closed and many of those became white elephants. For that purpose, to maintain them, to pay salaries, and maintain repairing and everything, it was heavy burden on the budget on the government. So PV National government has took a decision to see that the public sector undertakings flourish or perish. Means you become profitable or you close down your act. That was the concept given by. Because of that, those who are performing losses are allowed to be closed by the government with no activity. Government shareholding has lost money and everything was lost. Only land was left with nothing else. So that was the situation. Only out of 200, only some 20 companies were, some 35, 40, 50 companies were performing. Out of that, only 23 companies were running with profits and only 9 companies are paying dividends to the government. So because of that concept, all these PSUs were closed. We have seen the example of Ramagundam, IDPL. So many companies were forced to close. So the loss need not be, the salaries need not be paid, interest need not be paid by the bank, government. The regular expenditure need not be paid by the government. So that reduces the financial burden on the governments. Earlier, these public sector undertakings were treated as part of the government organization. After PV National government change in policies, it became separate from the government. So just like other commercial organizations, like Tata Group, Reliance Group, Adani Group, like that, these companies also became independent organizations who has to follow all the Companies Act and the concerned regulations. If it is a bank, they have to follow the Reserve Bank guidelines like other banks. The government share value is fixed and this became from 1991 onwards. So from this year, after this government came into power, in 2014, nearly 50-60 companies were only performing and many of them were showing losses. So this government has said a new concept, reform, perform, transform. But they said, but these public sector undertakings or public sector banks should be supported by government policies to encourage to take the independent decisions by the public sector undertakings, management decisions, business decisions, commercial decisions. That reforms should be done by the policymakers, the government, and performance by bureaucrats. Means the bureaucrats should give them guidance how to support them. The individual public sector undertakings separately. And transform means it is the organizations which is showing losses has to improve its performance. So this was the concept of this one. Because of this approach adopted by government 2014 onwards, now the public sector undertakings are showing. So this is the history behind public sector undertakings. Every public sector undertaking, we have seen nearly in Hyderabad itself, there were 22 public sector undertakings. Only 3 or 4 running now, with all others were closed because of losses. So now government is encouraging to revive and at least the running unit should be performed more with profits and there should be a burden in the government. And any loaner, they can take independent decisions, directly taking loans from banks or financial institutions, and they have to comply with just like other companies. So with this approach, encouragement approach, clear-cut policy, and no bureaucracy support, these governments, these public sector are showing profits.
And how this PSU profit has improved, sir?
This profit is increased by, this year profit, 2024 profit, is increased nearly during this period of 2023-24. All the public sector undertakings owned by companies, where the government is having shareholding, maybe 60%, 70%, 30%, 80, 90% also. All the companies are showing profits. And this year, these companies are showing a profit of highest profit of 5 lakh crores. These profits. How this is, this is showing because of timely decisions taken by the management, responsible and accountable management, and no interference by political interference, and bureaucrats' guidance, and effective management. All these resulted into profits. Earlier, these public sector undertakings were treated as the centers for low productivity and high wastage and losses, continuous losses. So since independence, these companies were showing losses only. So this is after this continuous process of nearly more than 30 years, 91 change in policy, and from 2014 onwards, change in support. So that resulted into effective management and no political interference and bureaucracy support, and this resulted into more profits to the public sector undertakings. Out of this successful one was that is State Bank of India, 67,000 crore, ONGC 49,000 crore, IOC 41,000 crore, LIC 40,000 crore, Coal India 37,000 crores, Bharat Petroleum 26,000 crores, NTPC 20,000 crores, Bank of Baroda 18,000, Hindustan Petroleum 16,000, Public Finance Corporation PFC 16,000 crores, Power Grid that is 15,000, Canara Bank 15,000, and Union Bank 14,000, like this. All these companies which are showing earlier were performed with losses has become profitable, and these are showing better profits and showing profits and performing with better profits. And this is becoming a success story for Indian industry sector.